You know that feeling when you are standing in a crowded room, watching everyone else scramble to find a charging port or panic because the Wi-Fi dropped, while you simply reach for a pen, adjust your plan, and keep moving without a second thought? You have this strange, dual-layered memory of a world where you had to remember phone numbers by heart and navigate using paper maps, yet you can now troubleshoot a software glitch as quickly as someone half your age. You exist in the quiet bridge between two eras, often feeling like a stranger in both, yet somehow more prepared for the chaos of the present than anyone else around you. There is a specific kind of calm that comes with being a Xennial, a person born in that slim window between 1976 and 1985, but you probably just call it getting by. Society often looks at this unique demographic and struggles to find a label that fits, sometimes dismissing you as cynical, or perhaps suggesting you are just the tired generation, stuck between the defiance of the Gen Xers and the digital fluency of the Millennials. They see your hesitation to jump onto every new trend as a lack of engagement, or your preference for direct face-to-face communication as being out of touch. But what the outside world perceives as a lack of speed is actually a highly sophisticated filtering process. You aren't being slow, you are practicing a form of psychological pacing that is becoming increasingly rare. You are not stuck in the middle. You are the most mentally resilient humans alive because your nervous system was built in a world of silence and then tested in a world of constant noise. The secret to this resilience lies in a concept called an internal locus of control. Because you spent your formative years in an analog world, your brain was wired to believe that the solution to a problem lived inside your own head or required the work of your own hands. When something broke, you couldn't just search for a tutorial or call for an instant replacement. You had to tinker, to experiment, and to wait. This created a profound sense of self-efficacy, the deep-seated belief that you can influence the outcome of your life through your own actions. While younger generations might feel their cognitive loads spiking the moment an algorithm changes or a service goes down, your brain simply switches back to a more grounded, manual mode of operation. You don't wait for the external world to provide the answer because you were raised to be the answer. This resilience was forged in the fires of a very specific childhood transition. You were the last generation to remember the before times, the era of playing outside until the streetlights came on, with no GPS and no way for your parents to track your every move. You navigated the world with a high degree of forced autonomy, which acted as a protective mechanism for your developing mind. You learned to read social cues, to manage boredom, and to resolve conflicts without digital intervention. Then, just as you reached adulthood, the world shifted. You were the first to adopt social media and smartphones, but you did so with a brain that had already established a foundation of analog stability. This means you understand technology as a tool, not an identity. You know how to live without the like button because your validation was originally built on real-world interactions and tangible achievements. This unique history has gifted you a hidden superpower, the ability to bridge the gap between human intuition and technological precision. You possess an unseen depth of adaptability that allows you to remain steady when the digital infrastructure of our lives begins to tremble. You are the masters of the pivot, able to translate complex emotional needs into efficient systems while keeping one foot firmly planted in the physical reality of the moment. Your resilience isn't loud or flashy. It is a quiet, enduring strength that shows up in your ability to handle massive life changes without losing your core sense of self. You are the ones who keep the gears turning when the automation fails, using a blend of old-world grit and new-world savvy. You are the translators of the modern age, comfortable in the silence of a library and the chaos of a group chat. However, being the emotional and practical bridge for everyone else carries an unseen cost. There is a specific kind of burnout that comes with being the generation that handles it all. Because you are so capable, people often forget that you're carrying a heavy burden of responsibility. You are the ones caring for aging parents while raising children, all while navigating a workplace that demands 24/7 digital availability. Your nervous system is often caught in a state of high alert, trying to maintain the boundaries of a slower life in a world that refuses to slow down. You might feel a lingering sense of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix, a result of constantly translating the needs of the generations before you and after you, while rarely finding someone who speaks your own language of resilience. You are expected to have the wisdom of the old world and the energy of the new, a duality that can leave you feeling emotionally spread too thin. It is important to acknowledge that this feeling of being in between is not a sign of failure or a lack of belonging. It is a testament to the fact that you are the keepers of a vital human frequency. You are the only people who truly understand how much the world has changed, and that perspective is what makes you so essential. You have the grit of the old world and the adaptability of the new, and that combination makes you an anchor in the storm. You don't have to apologize for needing a moment of silence or for questioning the constant rush of modern life. Your instinct to step back and assess is exactly what allows you to move forward with such purpose. You are the architects of a balanced perspective, reminding everyone else that there is a world outside the screen. If you ever feel like you are out of step with the rhythm of the world, remember that your pacing is your protection. You have survived the disappearance of one world and the birth of another, and you have managed to keep your integrity intact through it all. You are a living testament to human endurance and the power of a well-rounded mind. The quiet strength you carry isn't something that needs to be shouted from the rooftops to be real. It is felt in every crisis you navigate and every person you support. You are the quiet masters of a complex age, the ones who know that even if the power goes out, the sun will still rise, and you will still know how to find your way home. You aren't broken, you're just different, and that difference is exactly what the world needs right now to keep its humanity intact. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about your journey is that you didn't choose to be this way. You were simply forged by a specific moment in time. This makes your resilience a collective trait, a shared language between those of you born in those 10 years. When you look at your peers, you see a reflection of that same unshakable foundation. You are a generation that knows how to wait, how to work, and how to wonder. You understand that progress is not always about moving faster, but about moving with intention. As you continue to navigate the complexities of a hyper-connected world, hold on to that internal locus of control. Trust that the tools you developed in the quiet afternoons of your childhood are still sharp, still relevant, and still powerful. You are the bridge, you are the anchor, and you are far more resilient than you give yourself credit for.
If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel.